Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm doing a simple color palette tonight. I am using crimson, pyrrole red, and gold. And for the base, I have mixed together Payne's gray and black. I want this one to be kind of mysterious. And I think I'm going to wind the swipes kind of through the canvas, and I may do a couple of controlled swipes. I'll have to see how the first part after I stretch it out turns out, but let's paint. All right, so this, woo! Almost. You see, this is me in the studio all the time. So the color, I actually was just going to do black, but I didn't, I almost dropped it again. I didn't quite have enough black, so I had some dark Payne's gray, and I was like, let me just mix it in, but it really just looks black on here. All right, this is enough. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost spilled the whole thing, and I used way too much of it. All right, I think I'm going to spread this out a little bit first. Get it kind of over to the edges before I start my swipe, because I don't want to have to stretch this one too much. Let me get it out of the middle a little bit more. Okay, there we go. There we go. I've got a lot of air bubbles. I'll have to pop those. Oh my goodness, y'all. That was almost a disaster. So far today, I started making a video and the blowers came, so I had to stop and pause for like an hour. Then I made another video and completely put it was a what's on my shelf. I put the complete wrong ingredient in there and it ended up coming out terrible. So you'll probably never see that one, or you'll see it as one of my husband's voiceover videos. You know, it's just been a day. I dropped a bunch of paint all over my foot. That's normal, but my goodness. Maybe I should go back inside and just like do some other stuff today. I don't know if that ever happens to y'all, but it definitely happens to me. Okay. I also wanted to let you know that I have been running a sale for the past like week and a half, 2 weeks on my new web shop. So I had my website already, but I have now predominantly left Etsy and moved all of my original paintings over to my web shop. So to celebrate that and to do a little bit of spring cleaning, I offered 30% off. It's spring 30 is the code. I will leave it in the description if you would like to go and check it out. I have sold actually a lot of pieces already, but I was really proud that I worked on this and did this myself and set this up. I am not as technologically advanced as some other people are, I'll say, so it took me a little while to get this done, but it's spring 30 as the code, and the sale does end tomorrow. So if you want to check that out, please feel free. All right, I still have a few air bubbles here on the end, but should be all right. Okay, so I am going to, so I have my crimson color. I'm just doing a very simple palette here. And I want to kind of spread this out a little bit. I want it to kind of flow like that. Then I'm gonna do my gold in here. And I am gonna swipe with black too. I thought that would be interesting. So I think I'm gonna swipe like up here, wipe it off, up here, wipe it off, up there, wipe it off, and then up there. I think. Now I'm gonna come back in, because when I swipe, these areas right here, I'm trying to cover up the black. I just thought about that because I don't want it to be, the black will seep through there. This is actually really pretty, just kind of as is as a ribbon pour. Maybe I'll use my other red for up here since I don't have as much of that there. And then one little strip right here. Okay. All right, ready to go. So I mixed up a bigger container of my Australian floetrol and paint. So I can just dip my palette knife in it now, which is nice. All right, my first swipe coming up. Oh, that is so pretty. Oh, that is so pretty. Now I feel like with this swipe, it should go down to meet it there instead of swiping up through here. What do we think? Maybe I'll do that. I wonder if I can like spread these paints out a little bit more that way and then swipe them. I feel like this would be very pretty as a controlled swipe. That's kind of what I was thinking in my head, to add these little branches. But what is in my head sometimes is hard to translate onto a canvas. So, all right, yeah, I'm gonna swipe this. Back down this way and meet it down there. See, that is so different than the other one. All right, here we go. Lift that up, and I want that to stay with a bunch of red. It's going to roll off the canvas anyway. Last swipe is going to be big, and I feel like I don't know if I want it to curve or not. All right. Light touch, light touch. I think I am going to curve this on around a little bit and then up through there. Now to come back in, do I want any, those cells right there? Ooh, that is pretty. I think I'm going to leave these areas and not swipe them. I am in my find out stages here of whether or not that's a good idea or not. Gosh, this color palette, so pretty. The difference in the crimson and the pyrrole red is so small, but it's enough. You can definitely see the difference. I love this one. I actually like all of them. This one is gorgeous too. All right, I'm gonna put on gloves, stretch it out. All right, here we go. I think I'm gonna stretch up to this. Oh, I don't want all that to go off. Okay, no. New plan, stretching down to this corner. Just trying to hold a little bit of the shape that I had there. I'm really liking this. It's super simple and elegant. I'm gonna come around and stretch to this side next. I learned my lesson with trying to tilt this like a pizza cutter. Oh my goodness, this is so pretty. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, to this last corner here. I love how that stretched out. Okay. I might have to abandon my other idea of controlled swipes on this one. Because I like it really kind of just the way it is. The only thing that I'm gonna fiddle with is, is this section right up here. If there's not paint on me, I'm not painting. Okay, so this section right here, do I do it with a palette knife? I think I'm gonna do it with a palette knife. I'm going to bring these colors, I'm going to lay this down like so gently. And swipe that up through there. I love that now. Yes, 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 yes. I do feel like now I am missing a little something. Ooh, there's some of my hair. I do feel like I'm missing a little something down here. So maybe I just start off the canvas. There. 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 And do the same thing, super duper light. What it does is it just blends it all together. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of cells just from the, I'm gonna fiddle. I need to fiddle with that little section. Okay, my last little parts to come up. I actually love this little red and those 2 red dots, so I'm not touching that. And then this, I want to come up through here. I'm just working on composition right now. Up through there. Oh, I love this color palette. Yep. Done. Super happy. Not messing with this. Ooh. Oh, this one little area right here, I just don't know. Okay, done. I'll show you. All right, so a few things. I started to have these little spots that from the gold started to pop up, and they were coming through kind of like that, and I didn't care for them. So I just took some of the paint like off the palette knife. Where's my palette knife? It's camouflaged right there, and drizzled it in. And I wasn't really sure if I liked it or not, right? Because I loved it just the way it was. But if I turn it now this way, I see an octopus and like the tentacles from the octopus with the little suckers on it. So I will see how it dries, but I'm actually really happy with it. So I'll show you. Starting from here, that black is still black, but the Payne's gray, I just feel like made it just a tiny bit richer. And I added some of the swirls in other places just to kind of give it an interesting feel. But yeah, the Creative Inspirations Gold, I will say, and I'm going to do a video soon, I think, on all the different golds and which ones react better. But the Creative Inspirations Gold sometimes will pop through the surface on the swipes. But if the composition is this way, I see the tentacles of an octopus with the octopus leg. All right, I'll show you how it dries. Here it is. Super duper happy with this one. It's really big, so I had to stand all the way back here to get it in frame. But when I get you up close, you'll see how bright those reds actually are. There we go. And you can see the gold shines. But so here for me, what I see is the octopus head and the tentacle coming down here. I love this little section of cells right there. It's so pretty. And I'm really glad composition-wise I added this area down here and that I swiped that big swoosh up there. But you can see all the beautiful details. Now, I will say I did have a little bit of texture that came through on this one where I swiped. You can see actually it's just black on black lacing here. And then again right here, but I am totally okay with it. Not mad at it at all. But there you go. I love it. I think it's really, really pretty. So don't forget, my sale ends, my 30% off sale if you want an original piece of artwork. It ends March 31st, 2025. You can go to my website, mollysartistry.com. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Happy painting. Bye.